Welcome back. This is Michael Giapoudas with Patriarchal Psaltophiles, lesson 90 on page 150. Last time we finished homonogenes, and today we're going to continue from Eti και Ειρήνη. We are going to talk about μικρή είσοδος or small entrance, a template that gives us the typikon or the order of the events that happen during this section of the liturgy, Mikri Isodos. Learn a new hymn that we did not learn during method, Mnistiti Kyrie os agathos ton δούλων σου, and then conclude with the kontakion, προστασία των χριστιανών. As a matter of fact, we are going to take one complete example from past Sunday, December 6, 2020, and we are going to chant the whole Mikri Isodos for that specific Ichos and for that specific day. So let's go ahead, first of all, and talk about Mikri Isodos. Right after homonogenisios, there are going to be a couple of supplications, and the priest will come outside of the altar with the altar boys. While you are chanting the Apolitikion, is going to stand there holding the gospel. After you finish chanting the Apolitikion, the priest is going to say Sophia Orthi, and then you, the alpha chanter, is going to chant Δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν και προσπέσομεν Χριστό, and that's when the priest starts moving inside the altar, and that's why we call it Isodos. Isodos means entrance, as opposed to Exodos, that means going outside. So this Sophia Orthi και Δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν is the actual entrance. And here I have a template of the hymns that we follow every Sunday. When I say template, I want you to think about this as placeholders of the hymns and the sequence of the hymns that every Sunday may change, but the sequence is the same. Let me tell you exactly what I mean. The same Apolitikion chanted before Isodos is also chanted after, only faster. Then the Apolitikion of any feasts or saints, if any. Some Sundays we don't have any feasts or saints. The Apolitikion of the church, we chant later, and then finally we chant the Kontakion, which concludes the Mikri Isodos. Exactly which hymn is chanted and in which order can be found in the annual edition of the Typikon of the Ecumenical Patriarchate. This is a book that is published by the Ecumenical Patriarchate called Typikon or Annual Typikon or Imerologion, literally meaning calendar, by the Ecumenical Patriarchate, and gives you exactly which hymns you should be chanting each Sunday. But the general template is like this. Δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν εν Sophia Orthi is the actual Isodos. Before the Isodos, the Alpha Psaltis chants the Apolitikion of the Ichos of that day. What does that mean? We have 8 Ichos, like we learned in the method, and each one of these Ichos have their own Apolitikion. Apolitikion, it's a hymn, maybe 3 or 4 lines long. It's a short hymn. Each Ichos has its own Apolitikion. Each Sunday has its own Ichos, and the 8 Ichos are rotating. So before Δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν, before Sophia Orthi Δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν, the alpha chanter, the right chanter, chants the Apolitikion of that Ichos of that Sunday. Then the priest comes out while the chanter chants slow the apolitikion of the hijos, chants slow because we want to give the priest and the altar boys enough time to come outside. Δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν, Sophia ορθή, the first chanter chants δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν. While the chanter chants δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν, the priest goes inside the altar. Right after δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν, the Alpha Psaltis chants the apolitikion of the hijos again, the same one that we chanted before δεύτε προσκυνήσομεν. After this one, the Vita chanter chants the apolitikion of a seasonal saint, if any, or a feast, if any. If there are no feasts or no seasonal saints, we do not need to chant this apolitikion. If there is a memorial service, then the priest, Ierevs, chants Mnistidi Kyrie, which I have down here, and we are going to chant together because we did not learn this hymn during the method. After Mnistidi Kyrie, we chant the apolitikion of the church. This means that every church has a patron saint. Every church is devoted to a saint or Holy Mary or Christ or some other divine entity like Hagia Sophia, the holy wisdom of God. And all of those saints, they have their apolitikion, and you chant the apolitikion of the saint that that particular church happens to be devoted to. And finally, we chant the kontakion. Kontakion is just another name for another hymn like Prostasia των Χριστιανών. And kontakion is always the last hymn that concludes this section of the liturgy called Mikri Isodos. See appendix for all kontakia and apolitikia of hijos. In the appendix, I have all apolitikia of all 8 hijos. You know most of them because we use them as examples when we were learning the 8 hijos. And I also have all the kontakia that you need to chant throughout the year in the appendix, even though Prostasia των Χριστιανών is the most frequent kontakion. And because it is the most frequent kontakion, I decided to copy-paste it here so you don't flip through the pages every Sunday, just because it is so common, okay? And after Prostasia, we finish and conclude the Isodos, and we continue with the next section of the liturgy. The last thing I want to do today is chant this Mnistidi Kyrie os agathos των δούλων σου. And next time we're going to chant the whole Mikri Isodos with actual apolitikia taken from last Sunday's Typikon, just to make it realistic and give you a complete idea of exactly how Mikri Isodos goes. First of all, let's read the hymn, because we need to know where the accents go. Mnistidi Kyrie, ως αγαθός των δούλων σου, και όσα εν βίο ήμαρτον συγχώρησον. Ουδείς γαρ αναμάρτητος ημί σύ ο δυνάμενος, και της μεταστάση δούνε την ανάπαυση. Ναι. Play go fourth from Ga, and we put the phthora of Ni on Ga. Ga, 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 di, ga, 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 vu, pa, vu, ga, di, ga, vu, ga, ga, di, ga, vu, ga, di, zoi, ke, di, και γαδί, γαγα και δι, παβου, γαδί, γαβου, βου, παβου, γαδί και δι, ζω και δι, παβου, γαδί, γαβου, μνηστική Κύριε, ως αγαθός των δούλων σου και όσα εν βίο ημαρτών συγχωρήσον. Ουδείς γαρ αναμαρτήτως δυναμένος και της μεταστάσι δούνε την ανάπαυση. Okay, next time we're going to take a complete example of all of this sequence of events called Mikri Isodos. We're going to see a complete example. See you next time.